Hey guys, I'm back already. I had a really good time making the first video, so I thought I'd give the second one a shot. So this time I got some, a little bit better food rather than just pasta that I picked at the last second. I got nice pizza, just a small, but this place is really good. And then I got these things, Zeppelis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Please correct me. I'm really bad at a lot of pronunciation. I is bad at talking. But they're like these funnel cake nuggets, kind of. See, like, I don't know. They're really good. They taste like funnel cake. They're a little thicker. They have the powdered sugar on them still, which is my favorite part of funnel cakes. In this place, I think you get 12 of those things for like, might be like $3.25 or something. But anyways, I'm gonna start eating some pizza, and I have the camera nice and far away, so hopefully my eating, doesn't come through too much. But regardless, I'd like to talk about movies today. I love movies. I'm kind of basic when it comes to movies. Like, I'm just a big fan of like big budget movies. Like, I'm not one of those movie people that know the indie movies coming out and like go to film festivals and stuff. Like, I just like the big budget, like Marvel movies, Disney movies, that kind of stuff it's really high production value and it's really good. I got into the Marvel game pretty late. It was like, oh wow. It was like last November, I think it was, that I had watched Iron Man for the first time, and I really didn't like it. I think I just didn't like connect at all with Tony Stark. I just felt like, oh, he's a douchebag, and like, yeah, he's smart and stuff and whatever, but I just didn't, really connect to him on like any sort of personal level or like him at all. So that kind of turned me off from it, because I knew he was like the main guy, and I felt like if I can't connect with the main character, then I'm not going to be able to connect with the other characters. But then I watched Black Panther. The only reason I watched that is because it was on Netflix. I was like, hey, why not? People are saying good things about it. I know there was a lot of controversy back and forth about it, but I just thought it was a fantastic movie. And that's what turned me around. I watched Black Panther, and then I finally watched Infinity War, which I think at this point, Infinity War and Back to the Future are probably equally tied for the movies I've seen the most amount of times. Like, Back to the Future, there was a point in my childhood, which I talked earlier about obsessions. There was a point in my childhood where I would come home from school and I would put Back to the Future on, and I would watch Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, or I'd just watch the first one until like 4 a.m. and then I'd go to sleep and wake up at 8 o'clock for school. And I was just so exhausted every day going into school and talking about Back to the Future, and all my friends were like, dude, listen, stop theorizing about Back to the Future. Nobody here has seen it as recently as you have, or as many times. So yeah, that's kind of how I became with Infinity Wars. I just watched it all the time. I wasn't like, I'm not staying up late anymore like I did when I was a kid, but I had that movie practically on repeat. And, I just thought that was an amazing movie, and that made me branch out. And I think what I did then was I went by, which this is a really stupid way to do things, but it's one of the ways I did it, is I went on like all the Marvel movies ranked, worst to best. And I watched all of the best ones in a row, which probably didn't you know, give a good chance to the other ones at the bottom of the list. But yeah, I watched like Captain America: Civil War, The Winter Soldier, Ant-Man, Age of Ultron. I just watched all of the most popular ones. So they're all really popular, but anyways, yeah, so I made it my duty to watch every single Marvel movie, and I watched every one multiple times. Like, I haven't watched the Incredible Hulk multiple times, but that's an outlier. I feel like most people that you talk to who are into Marvel will admit that The Incredible Hulk wasn't a great movie. But yeah, so I love Marvel, but after Endgame, I was a little disappointed. I don't know. I guess I theorized about it too much. And I spent way too much time on Reddit, where people are just constantly theorizing, constant like real or fake leaks, mostly fake. Just people that want to, get some internet points. So they're like, hey, I work for Disney or I work for Marvel. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, you just created your account so that you can get some karma and work people up about leaks. But yeah, so I think with all of those leaks and all of the things that people were saying, and it was more than just like Ant-Man going up Thanos' butt, but yeah, there were just so many like fake leaks and like people trying to tie things together that I felt like would have tied it together really well. Now, there's other videos that you could watch about fan theories for Endgame that didn't work out, and there's a ton of them. But yeah, so after Endgame, I kind of felt like, okay, it was a grand ending, it was fine, whatever. But then Marvel kind of lost my interest for a little bit. But then Far From Home came out, and I haven't seen that yet. Mostly because like I haven't heard a lot of hype about it. Like when it first came out, and this is a way that I judge a lot of things like video games and movies and stuff, is I'm not normally one to buy it right when it comes out or go see it right when it comes out. I don't just listen to the hype leading up to it, but like if you don't hear anything, like hear something big within a few days, or if it continues for a few weeks after the movie or game is released, then it probably didn't do that great. I feel like Far From Home, now I haven't seen it yet, so correct me if I'm wrong and it's just an amazing movie. I feel like Far From Home could have just been kind of riding the coattails and capitalizing off how huge Endgame was, but I can't say that because I haven't seen the movie. It was just like a preconceived notion that I had. But I do want to see it, and I think it's not in the theaters anymore. I think I just need to wait for it to come out on Blu-ray. But besides that, another one that came out already that I have yet to see, but I actually own it, is John Wick 3. I also was late to the game with John Wick. I probably saw them for the first time, like, I don't know, like 3 months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And I just thought they were awesome. Like, I was never into action movies, and from what I heard about these movies, it is nonstop action, and that's what it is. It's just nonstop violence and action, and it's well choreographed, and Keanu Reeves is a great actor. So yeah, they definitely turned me around and made me want to explore more in the action genre. Like, I'd really like to see a James Bond movie. I've never seen one of those, but one of my best friends is like a die-hard fan, so I'm kind of shocked that I haven't. Plus, as a kid, I played a lot of James Bond games, like GoldenEye on N64. Let's see, Agent Under Fire, I think, yeah, that was on the PS2, which that one was really cool because you actually had a watch in the game that you could like shoot sleep darts and like poison darts and things. I think it was Agent Under Fire. It had a blue cartridge. You know, even though the crust is burnt, I don't know if you could see that, it's still really good pizza. Like, it's so saucy. It's so cheesy. It's so good. I just love like real New York style pizza. But yeah, John Wick is fantastic, and I've read before that like the director of the movie or the writer or something wanted to kind of parody action movies and like how over the top they are, and but not like in a comedic way, more of a you know, in an artistic way. But it's interesting because watching it, it's like you totally get that's what he's going for. Like, and spoilers if you haven't seen John Wick, but you know, in the beginning of the movie, he's all retired and stuff, and you know, it seems like he's just living alone and not, you know, in the game anymore. And you know, his dog gets killed and stuff, and rather than like in a normal action movie where the guy coming out of retirement would like go to the bottom of his staircase and open some secret door, and there'd be like, you know, rifles behind it and, you know, fake passports and stuff. He took a sledgehammer down into his basement and just destroyed the floor and got this chest full of gold and guns. And it is over the top, but that's what's so good about it. Like that whole scene, which is really popular. I've seen it a lot on YouTube as a clip, like with an effing pencil, like the part where like the mob boss is telling his son that he once saw John Wick kill 3 people with a pencil. And it's over the top, but it's also like good and dramatic, and it keeps your attention, or at least mine. But yeah, I like John Wick a lot. I'm trying to think of other like series that I'm into. Oh man, now this is completely different. Not a lot of people are, well, not a lot of, I don't want to say mainstream people, but it's a movie franchise that gets either a lot of love or a lot of hate. People either love it or hate it. I feel like there's really no in between, is the Saw movies. And like, I'm not a huge horror fan. Like, I don't like ghost movies. Like, I don't like paranormal movies. I don't like the possession movies and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of that genre. Like, I can go for a good jump scare every now and then. Like, I feel like I say that I hate being jump scared, but when it actually happens, it's like, oh, that was entertaining. Good job. You got me. But yeah, Saw, I really love that series. They definitely like went off the deep end with that series. Like the first movie was awesome. And that it's a movie that can stand on its own, which is one thing that's great about the series, is like the 2 guys that created James Wan and Lee Wannell or something like that. I don't know. I'll need to correct this or put it in the description or something. They made a short film with the same premise, and then they made Saw together, which Lee is Adam in the movie. He's the guy, you know, one of the guys with his leg chained up in the bathroom, whatever. But yeah, so like the first movie was awesome. It can stand on its own. And then the second, third, and fourth were also really good. They were a little more over the top, and you know, it definitely tried to push it further and like make it even more gory and more twisted and stuff. But those were directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. again, I'm really bad with pronunciation, but I'm really excited because he's actually coming back to make the ninth Saw movie. I believe it's the ninth, yeah. And he's actually making it because Chris Rock wanted to make a new Saw movie. Like, from what I read, it was Chris Rock was like, hey, I love Saw, I wrote this Saw script, and Lionsgate was like, cool, we'll bring it back, whatever. So it's him in the movie and Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know if there's anybody else like big announced so far, but I mean that's huge for a Saw movie. And the guy that directed the second, third, and fourth, who is amazing, is coming back for this one. And I have a lot of hope for it, especially with the fifth, sixth, and seventh movies being so bad. You know, and then there was Jigsaw that came out, which was like, it was not a numbered Saw movie, but it was a sequel. It was just weird. It some people liked it, but I don't know. I thought it like threw the continuity off too much. But yeah, that's about the only horror movies I like, are the Saw movies. I just watched a movie last night called Saint Agatha, which is also by Darren Bousman. Which it was good. It was like a pregnant girl, which I could not tell whether it was set in like the 50s or like the 70s, or they did a lot of weird things that made you think it was one era and then make you think it was another. But basically she's pregnant, she's homeless, like she got kicked out of her dad's house or left her dad's house, and so she went to a home for like pregnant women, were run by all these nuns, and it found out it was really creepy, and the nuns are like killing people and whatever. And it was just every horror movie cliche was in there, and it was so good. Like there was one point where like she had just saw somebody be murdered or something like that, something terrible, and they were like, you can leave if you want, like go ahead, like if you leave now that means that we're not going to take care of you, but go ahead and leave, you can walk out the door. And they were like, but it might be better if you maybe slept a little bit. Don't you think you should get some rest before running for your life? And she was like, yeah, sure. Like she was like, yeah, I'll go to sleep even though I just saw somebody get murdered. It's like, what? That's insane. Like, how do you not, if you're in a murder house and, it's like the murderer is like, hey, I won't kill you if you leave right now, but let me tell you, it's easier to run after a good night's sleep. So maybe go into your bedroom, sleep, and I'll be here in the morning. Like, what? How can you sleep like that? But let's just say things didn't end up working out for, well, they kind of do, but you got to watch it. It's called Saint Agatha on Netflix. It's pretty good. I'm hoping to watch some more horror movies on Netflix from now until Halloween, which, and Netflix seems to be a good place for really crappy horror movies. What was the one that I wanted to watch? Await Further Instructions. It seemed like another knockoff of Saw, kind of. Like, there was a movie called Would You Rather, and that was pretty good. It was on Netflix, and it was basically like all of these down and out people that need money. It's like, go to this rich guy's dinner party, and you could get a ton of money. So they go to the dinner party, and then they're like, okay, everybody, you can leave if you want. Are you sure you want to stay? And they're like, yeah, sure. This isn't creepy at all. So they like lock all the doors, and they bring out like a car battery or something like that. And it's like, would you rather do this terrible thing or this terrible thing? Like, would you rather stab the person next to you, or like, I don't know, get whipped? Just crazy examples like that. Like there was one that was like, would you rather cut your own eyeball or be drowned, or something like that? And it was like, it was good as a thriller, where it kept the suspense up, and it was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? but it just wasn't a very high quality movie. But then there's another one that I saw, I haven't watched it yet, but it was on Netflix called Await Further Instructions, and it's like a family is turned against each other on their reunion by a mysterious force that like locks them in from the outside or something. I'm sorry, this pizza is really good. And I got such an adorable mini pizza. Like, I love this. I could totally eat one of these by myself, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to get used to eating on camera if I want to keep doing stuff like this. But yeah, it looks like an okay movie. Like, I feel like the idea of, you know, like the psychological, like being trapped by something that you don't know what's going on, or like somebody having that power to like pit people against each other, like that's a pretty you know, classic psychological thriller thing, which I guess that's what I like. I don't like horror movies as much. I like psychological thrillers. If you have any recommendations for any, let me know. But I'm gonna eat a little bit of dessert now, and then I'm probably gonna call it a night with this video. But again, these are the delicious zeppoli. Can you see that all right? Yeah. It doesn't look that great on camera, but I can assure you it's really good. It's funnel cake, basically with powdered sugar. I do love Back to the Future. I love Disney movies. Like, Disney makes some high quality movies, and there's just nothing you can say about that. Like, I really love Ralph Breaks the Internet. I think that's a fantastic movie. There's a lot of fan service in it for a lot of different fans of things, but it's just a high quality movie. The voice acting is good. It's funny. It's, you know, teaches a story throughout it. I don't know, I like it a lot. But yeah, let's see, like Frozen is really good. What other Disney movies? Brave was really good. Inside Out was fantastic. Yeah, I don't care if it's a kid's movie. It's like, Disney is gonna make good stuff. Like, whatever Disney puts their name on is probably gonna be good. But sorry to say but so much. But that's a great, watching these videos is a great way for me to realize when I repeat stuff like that. But yeah, so what kind of movies do you like? I'll definitely show you guys my movie collection. It's not huge. It's right over there at the TV, and it's mostly steelbooks. Like, you know, I have a lot of Marvel steelbooks. I have like Batman ones, some Disney ones, and then some Blu-rays. But yeah, you'll see. It's not anything amazing. It's not like I'm a avid collector or anything. But it's worth sharing. Like, I have the Avengers box set thing, which is pretty cool. A little low effort on their part, but we'll talk about that another time. So yeah, if you like the video, I'm really enjoying doing this. You know, earlier was my first video, this is my second. I'm probably not doing the mukbang thing right at all, but that's not necessarily what I'm going for even. I'm just like, just want to hang out, you know? And I feel like eating is a good thing to do while you hang out. But anyways, you know, if you like the video, hit the like button, leave a comment, say hi, like tell me your favorite movie or your favorite series or your thoughts on the movies that I talked about. And let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about in the future. But that's about it for tonight, and I hope you guys have a good one. See you next time.